All right, welcome. Today we are going to be assembling our computer placard. I've got all the parts from the thing. Here's what you need. You need 220 grit sandpaper. You will need some painter's tape, thin painter's tape, some premium wood glue, and your parts. One part we don't need is this center part in here. It is extra, so we'll toss that out. And the first thing we're going to do is just do the assembly. So I'm going to move the glue and the sandpaper away for now. And I'm just going to get a feel for the assembly. I'm going to pop out this extra little tab. And so these two are going to go like this and like this on the outsides. Make sure that the lettering is on the outside. And then I think this one goes in here. That looks good. That one goes in here. And then this one goes along the back. I think we made it symmetric, so I don't think it matters whether it's, you know, up, down, sideways, whatever. Get all those to line up. This is where my tape's going to come in handy. I'm going to actually lay down a bit of tape. This is going to be hard to tape this one. I think what I'm going to do is tape it from this face underneath here to that other face. And I'm pulling the tape a little bit taut so that there's some tension in it, and that'll help hold it together. So there. I did not do a great job, but I did an okay job. Oops. There went my okay job theory. There we go. Now we're back in together. So I'm just going to pull the tape up and then pull it tight again. Okay. So that's done. If I let go of it, it's going to fall. So I want to look at this real quick. And I want to inspect this to make sure that there's no extra lips on the inside edge here that's going to catch the paper. The paper should be able to slide all the way through into that. And I'm going to put it so that this fully cut section where the paper slides in goes to the top. So I'm going to put it on just like that. Yeah, that looks good. Make sure that there's a little slot here. In fact, I could just hold it there. Let me just put a few pieces of tape on it now. Two piece tape on that side. A second piece of tape on this side. Okay. Okay, that's really held together well now. So that's my dry fit, and now my job is to figure out how I'm going to glue this up. So I don't want the hot glue. We use hot glue a lot because it's fast, it sets up quick, it's easy to use, but it's also ugly. So I don't want anything on the face that I'm going to see or the outside that I'm going to see that is hot glue. But I do notice I can come across this line back here and this line with hot glue, this one and this one, right? So that'll do good. That'll be nice. I could run it along the backside here and the backside here and here. And when it's put together like this, I can actually leave this piece of tape here and this front piece of tape, and I can get glue all the top ones up, let them solidify, remove the tape, and then do all the bottom ones. So there's my gluing strategy. So I'm going to retape it once it's all ready to go. And I'm going to glue the top parts first, let them set it for a few minutes, and then the bottom parts I'll do afterwards, and then it'll be super strong on that structure. Then the question is, how do we get this face to attach to here? Well, the face is a little different. It has, we're going to actually use wood glue for that. For these side pieces, we don't want to use wood glue because they don't fit perfectly well in there. Plus, all the edges are burnt, and wood glue is not going to give you a good bond with burnt edges. It'll just be like, it'll be crumbly and it'll fall apart. So that's why we're going to use hot glue, because the hot glue actually touches good wood whenever you put the hot glue on. So there. But this has this little lip of unburnt wood along here. We're going to actually use wood glue right along this edge, the smallest amount possible, to just get in there and get after it. And then when we put it on, we won't have any glue showing. So it'll work out great. Before I do all that though, so now I know how to put it together, I've got my gluing plan ready. I need to sand them because once I assemble them, sanding off all the burn marks is going to be really tricky. So I'm going to sand them first. And for little pieces like this, the only way to do it is to put down onto a piece of flat surface, sandpaper, and then just do this a little bit. That's looking better already. So I'm not pushing down very hard. I'm trying to just let the wood kind of glide over the surface. And I'm getting there. I'm going to be sure not to oversand because I don't want to go through that top layer of wood. And you can see I'm already starting to get there a little bit. On this edge here and this edge, I'm going through the thing. So I think I'm done sanding that one. I went a little too far. Pay better attention in the future. And I'm just going to put my hand on it and very lightly just sand it. And when I can, I'm going to sand in the direction of the grain. So see how the grain goes this way? I want to sand it like this, yeah. Yeah, like this. Whichever motion I'm going, I want to go with the length of it. And that's probably enough. Yeah. That looks good. So I've got two pieces done. This is that back piece. I don't really care too much about it because it's going to have paper in front of it. I'll give it one quick sand. And that's good. This is the back piece, so I don't really care about this one either, so I'm going to give it just one quick sand. That looks pretty good. And now this is the front face. Everybody's going to see this, so I want a nice sand on it, but I need to be careful not to push too hard because I want to put a really light pressure on it. If I push really hard, I'm going to sand through the face really fast. So I'm going to try and spread my pressure out across my whole hand. Sand it. It's pretty good so far. I saw a couple little bits there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so that's the sanding over with. And again, I did that first because sanding it when it's assembled was going to be a nuisance with all the angles and stuff. So now I've got it all ready to go. Now I need a little bit of wood glue. And what I'm going to do is just put a little bit onto a piece of paper. In this case, my paper here. I don't need much. And I'm going to use my finger to just dip into the wood glue, get a little bit of glue on it, and then I'm just going to add it to the edge here, to that surface. I'm going to try to keep from going into this inside part. I don't want any glue in there if I can avoid it. And I'm just going to keep dabbing it on until I go all around the edges. And dip my finger in a little bit of glue. It doesn't take much. So I'm kind of scraping it on from the outside edge. And then I can come back, because it's going to be pretty globby now, I can come back and just dab it with a dry finger. And try and keep it out of that inside part. Got a little bit in there. I'm going to pull it out with my, there we go. Okay, I'm going to go on the other edge. Again, all around the outside edge, just kind of dabbing. So if I was redesigning this, I would probably make this lip, this edge wider so that there's more of a gluing surface, because this is a pretty small amount of surface to glue on. I just realized I forgot to grab something, so I didn't get the clamps that we're going to use for this. I'll go grab those in a second. Okay, so now I've got glue all around that edge. Just going to rub my hands together. The glue will dry and fall off as a mess. Let me pause there and I will come back with the clamps. All right, so I'm back. I've got some clamps here. I need 5 of them, and I have 5. Perfect. So I'm going to put this on. I'm going to make sure that this piece, the prettier side of the wood, is facing up. I'm going to put this right on it. And when I do that, that's going to define which way is up and which way is down. So I want the side, so this is here. I'm going to put it on this way and flip it over. So the slot is now up for me. I'm going to line it up the edges the best I can. Really careful to line them up really well. And this bottom edge needs to line up a little bit better. So I squeeze from both ends. You can kind of feel if one side is higher than the other side. Like between my finger and my thumb, I can feel whether that's like that. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Yeah, that all looks pretty good. Now I'm going to give it a quick clamp. It is. That's the open side, I think. So, yep, there's some glue squeezing out. And I want to give it a clamp here, here. I'm going to need more clamps. There's no harm in having lots of clamps on it. You want a nice even pressure across the entire surface. Otherwise, sometimes clamping here on the corner will actually raise the corners up. So you want another clamp over here in the corner. Hold that together. And I've got a green one. All right, welcome back. Let's do the final gluing. So let this set up. It's ready to go. I need to figure out which side it's up. Before I take these off, actually, this is the bottom side. I'm going to do something real quick and just put a small piece of tape on here indicating the top side. So the tape is at the top side where the hole is. That needs to go up all the time. I don't want to put it on where it's like this and the paper has to come in from the bottom. I'm going to go from the top. So I know this is my top, so I'm going to start assembling it again. Pop that piece in. In fact, I'm going to put a piece of tape on that right away. So I'm not struggling quite so much holding it together. And now I'm going to try and keep my hands off the black edges and keep the black burned edge from getting onto the side and being smeared everywhere. So I want to just make sure my hands stay as clean as possible. Kind of a nuisance to put it together. Now I want to put this piece up so that the nice looking wood on this side is facing up. So if people do see something, they do see something nice at least. And I'm going to slide this on just like that. And I'm going to do that one long piece of tape from this side underneath to that side. And now it's all held really well together, so I can go ahead and do some gluing. And again, my gluing strategy was I'm going to take hot glue and mash it down to this corner. Beautiful. And into this corner. Perfect. And then this one. And this one. I'm really trying to like work it into that joint so it's down in there. Blow on it a few seconds. Once that sets up, which it already has, I can feel it. If you do this, just touch it lightly because it might be hot and burn you still, like it'll stick to you. So that side's good. I can now remove this tape and I can do the underside now. And I'm just going to go here. Nice. Really work it in there. Good. I'm not putting a ton on, I'm just kind of working it into the joint. And that's it. So all that ugly gluing is not on the face, so you don't have to see it. So I think that's it. And in about 30 seconds, it'll be cool enough, maybe even already it is, to just be let go. And now it's like a little rock now. Awesome. That was our gluing, our assembling and gluing. Great job. Last thing to do is just test to see if the paper fits in. Hopefully it will. I've got a little piece of index card here. See if I can't. Ooh, it's really tight, but it does fit. Awesome. So that's it. All done. Great job.